Olympian Eileen Gu's birth certificate deepens mystery about her American father due to striking detail. Details of Olympic freestyle skier Eileen Gu's birth records have emerged amid ongoing criticism over her decision to compete for China. The Olympian, 22, who is also a U.S. citizen due to her father being American, has withheld details about him in interviews. Now, in the obtained birth certificate, the designated space for Eileen Gu's father's name is blank, further adding to the mystery. Eileen Gu's birth certificate leaves father's identity unsolved. Amid continued criticism over Eileen Gu's decision to represent China at the Olympics, her birth records have surfaced, but they have done little to clarify the mystery surrounding her father. In the obtained certificate, the space for the father's name was left blank, listing only Gu's mother, Yang, as the identifiable parent at the time of her birth at California Pacific Medical Center on September 3, 2003. The document also shows that Gu took her mother's surname, further deepening the mystery surrounding her father's identity. At present, the only confirmed detail is that the 22-year-old's father is American, a fact that would have made her eligible to compete for the United States at the Olympic Games. Some have described the athlete's father as a Harvard graduate, although this claim has yet to be actually confirmed. Eileen Gu says her choice to represent China shouldn't raise eyebrows. This content is not available due to your privacy preferences. Gu first announced that she would be representing China in 2019, ahead of the 2022 Winter Olympics. At the time, she described it as an incredibly tough decision to make, seemingly referencing the tension between the US and China over her allegiance. Since then, her choice to represent the Asian country has continued to draw attention. At some point, Vice President J.D. Vance weighed in, saying he hoped someone who had grown up in America would want to compete with the United States. In response, Gu said she was flattered by Vance's remarks but emphasized that her decision to compete for China should not raise eyebrows. So many athletes compete for a different country, she said, per People magazine. People only have a problem with me doing it because they kind of lump China into this monolithic entity and they just hate China. So it's not really about what they think it's about. And also, because I win, the athlete continued. Like if I wasn't doing well, I think that they probably wouldn't care as much, and that's okay for me. People are entitled to their opinions. At this year's Olympics, Gu was quite clutch, taking home gold in the halfpipe and 2 silver medals in other events. Still, a journalist appeared to downplay her achievement, asking Gu during a press interview whether she saw her 2026 results as 2 silvers gained or 2 golds lost. In response, Gu fired back with a lengthy rebuttal that emphasized why the question was misguided. I'm the most decorated female freeskier in history. I think that's an answer in and of itself, Gu said. How do I say this? Winning a medal at the Olympics is a life-changing experience for every athlete. Doing it 5 times is exponentially harder. Eileen Gu went on to say that each medal that she wins is equally hard, then dubbed the journalist's question ridiculous. The 2 medals lost situation, to be quite frank with you, I think, is kind of a ridiculous perspective to take. I'm showcasing my best skiing, the Olympian noted. She continued, I'm doing things that quite literally have never been done before, and so I think that is more than good enough, but thank you. Last year, Forbes named Gu one of the highest-paid female athletes in the world, including her in a prestigious list alongside tennis players Coco Gauff, Aryna Sabalenka, and Iga Swiatek. She reportedly earns $23 million annually, with the bulk of her income coming from endorsements with brands such as Red Bull, Porsche, IWC Schaffhausen, and most recently, TCL Electronics. The sportswoman also earns from her side career as a model and is represented by IMG Models. Over the years, she has appeared in campaigns for brands like Victoria's Secret, Tiffany & Company, Fendi, Gucci, and Louis Vuitton. Olympian Eileen Gu's birth certificate deepens mystery about her American father, because of one striking detail. It always starts the same way in the modern age: a screenshot, a caption, and 100,000 people leaning closer to their screens like truth can be measured in pixels. The image, blurry, angled, and clearly photographed from another device, looked like a document that didn't want to be seen. It had the beige tint of old paper and the stern geometry of bureaucracy: boxes, lines, stamped text, and official emptiness. Someone had circled a single section in red, the way people circle an answer on a test when they are certain they've caught the cheat. Striking detail. The caption read, "Why is this blank?" Within minutes, the screenshot had its own life. It drifted through group chats and comment threads, through forums where strangers treated speculation like a spot and certainty like a trophy. It appeared in video essays narrated by serious voices over dramatic music. It became the kind of object that the internet loves most, a small rectangle of alleged evidence that promised a much bigger story. And because the name connected, because it was Eileen Gu, Olympic champion, global star, the kind of person who seems to move through air as if physics is negotiable, people clicked faster, argued harder, believed more easily. For a few hours it didn't even matter if the document was authentic. People wanted it to be. The detail that set off the fire, the striking detail, was almost comically simple, which is why it felt so powerful. In the box labeled father, there was no name. Not crossed out, not covered, not replaced. Just empty. A clean vacancy. A silence with edges. To some, it looked like a mystery begging to be solved. To others, it looked like a deliberate choice. To a handful of people who claimed expertise in forms and state records, it looked like a common clerical outcome. One of those quiet realities no one thinks about until the internet decides it's a plot twist. But the crowd didn't pause long enough to learn the difference between unusual and unfamiliar. They said the blank space proved something. They argued over what. In one corner, people swore it meant the father was unknown, absent, or hidden. In another, people insisted it was a legal tactic, a privacy shield, a protective barrier placed between a child and the world. In another, people speculated about citizenship, paperwork, and political narratives, building castles out of technicalities they only half understood. And in the center of it all, glowing like a neon question mark, was that empty box. A void turned into a headline. The father as a myth. It's strange how quickly a person can become a symbol. Eileen Gu is real. Her achievements are real. Her training is real. Her falls are real. Her victories are real. But the internet, hungry and impatient, often can't handle real humans for long. It prefers characters. The genius prodigy, the perfect daughter, the global ambassador, the traitor, the savior, the brand.